Hello and welcome everybody. Today we're going to be ironing a shirt properly. I learned this skill a long time ago from my grandmother, who was a great tailor in Poland back then. She was a professional tailor and she took me aside one day, showed me how to do it properly. So here we go, let's take a look. So before we start ironing, we have to gather our equipment. We have our iron, which is of course what you need the most. A good guide if you're searching for an iron is to make sure that it's a little bit heavy because it helps you in your ironing process, okay? Also, I want to mention that I put distilled water inside of the tank because over time, if you use tap water, there's a lot of minerals that build up and clog all of the steaming parts. Here are all these little holes, and also the little sprayer that's here. So it clogs up, you know, the little tubes that are inside for that. So if you use distilled water, it helps to eliminate that problem. Or else you're gonna be sometimes ironing and suddenly a whole bunch of minerals are gonna pop out with the steam and could actually even stain your clothes. Okay, and as well, I use a little spray bottle, which is also filled with distilled water, that I spray on most fabrics to give it a little bit of dampness, and that helps to smooth out the wrinkles. It helps, it's like a tool to help, you know, the ironing go very smoothly. Okay, now how to select the right temperature for your ironing. If you notice, there are numbers on a dial here. Most irons are like that. Either they come with a little written guide. If they don't, the higher the number, the hotter the iron. And the higher the number means you're gonna use that for fabrics that are more like natural, like cotton and linen. But if you have a mixed fabric that has some polyesters or others, that's like a little bit of like a plastic, right? So you have to use a little bit of a lower temperature so you don't damage the fabrics. Okay, so to begin ironing your shirt, the first part you're gonna iron is your collar, okay? Use a little water to spray. It makes it easier to iron out the fabrics. The next part you're gonna iron is gonna be the yoke. That's on the back of the shirt. So use your ironing board. There's a thinner part, it's made for this. The next part you're gonna wanna iron will be the sleeves. I always start with the back of the sleeve so the front of the sleeve is perfectly ironed. Then you do the front part. So once these parts are done, we're ready for the rest of the body of the shirt. Now we're going to use this part of the ironing board to do this area. And I'll show you how to turn the shirt around to get to the rest of the parts. We're going to put some water. This helps in adding steam and smoothing out the fabric as we iron. And put a little downward pressure also on your iron. If your iron is heavy, it's better. When you're looking for an iron, to buy an iron, you should really look for it to be a little bit heavy. Unfortunately now, most of them are made out of plastic. So we have to use our own bodies to put some pressure. Okay, now we're gonna do the back side. And it's so simple, you just keep moving it on your table. That's why an ironing board is very important to have. I'm gonna wet it again. Let's finish off the back side of it. Let's wet it. Okay, now we have one last part to do, and that's the other front piece. So we'll do this part first, and then we will turn it and do that side. So let's get it wet. Now we're gonna just twist it around the corner so we can get to this area. A little water. And there we go. Now let's get our hanger and see what it looks like. And there's your perfectly ironed shirt.